You know, on my channel, I love to do underrated action films. And this one came out September 1990. The movie, Death Warrant. The man, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
First, he demolished the supreme player in the most brutal sport in the world. Then, he crushed the competition in a contest nobody plays for kicks. Now,
What's the problem?
he faces a new challenge, only this time there are no rules. And nobody's playing games.
Detective Burke, we want to send you undercover into Harrison as a prisoner.
Van Damme is Burke.
You're not gonna last too long.
I say underrated because in the collection of Jean-Claude Van Damme action films, this is not near Kickboxer or Bloodsport or Universal Soldier or Cyborg.
What?
This movie, as I said before, came out in 1990, and it wasn't overlooked. It took in $46 million, and their budget was $6 to $7 million. So it got back his money and then some. So this was a major hit for Jean-Claude Van Damme because he was just coming off a Bloodsport, Cyborg, and he needed a vehicle to come out. You know, this was before the Universal Soldier. This was before he had a big rise in film. This was produced by MGM, and this was his first big budget kind of movie, and it grossed a lot of money at the box office. And it wasn't that talked about because, you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme back in the days was called fake. That's right, gasp, I know, fake. Proving that I don't understand what the hell he was called fake for, because he proved everything he said. Later on in the years, we get to know the rivalry between him and Steven Seagal. I'm not going to get into that. This is just a quick review of the movie Death Warrant. But to give you a little history, Jean-Claude Van Damme was a kickboxer.
What?
And he lost, I think he only lost one fight or something. I think so. I'm not up on his kickboxing career like that. There are other channels that have talked about his kickboxing career in full detail. All I know is that the shit that he got, the shitstorm that he had to go through was stupid.
What?
Now, I'm not saying he wasn't loved. You know, the dude got looks. He had charisma. You know, he wasn't the greatest actor. I'm not gonna lie to you, he wasn't the greatest actor, but he had that je ne sais quoi. I don't know how you pronounce it. Je ne sais quoi. Whatever. He had the charm. He had that thing. You know, he had that thing. You know, and he had the muscles. You know, and likely of every 80 star. And yes, he did roids. He did steroids. He did cocaine. He lived his life, man. That Jean-Claude Van Damme life was filled with drugs. You know, married over 4 to 5 times. Yeah, he was a bad boy back in the days. But I go on to say that Death Warrant is not up there with all his other movies.
What?
I consider this movie as a classic. This Death Warrant is just a classic. It's a prison movie, and he goes undercover as a cop. And long story short, he finds out that prisoners are dying, and it's a organ market there, a black market for organs. So basically, they're killing prisoners and taking their organs and giving them to the rich. So yeah, that's the movie in a nutshell. And also, to top that off, he has to fight this enemy he had when he was, you know, patrolling. He was a cop, thought he killed him, and then he comes back in prison, and literally that's when the real tension and the fight ensues. And the villain of this whole movie is the Sandman. Now, I'm not from Spider-Man. The Sandman just wants a serial killer, and before he went in Jean-Claude Van Damme's character, I forgot his character's name, I really did. I haven't seen this movie in a while, but he thought he killed the Sandman, and basically he comes back in prison, the same prison he's Jean-Claude Van Damme character is undercover in, and put there on purpose because the higher ups knows that this guy's a cop, and they're gonna stop him no matter what. So they put the Sandman where he is, and there you go. That's the whole synopsis of the film. The point of this film is that this is not like any other prison movie. This movie, I always say movies that deserve to be in 4K. This definitely deserves to be in 4K. This made $46 million at the box office. So my whole take is that it's a hit, but people don't recognize this film. And rarely have I seen people watch this film on YouTube. Usually they, those people who watch films, I don't know, the film reactions, and they have couples watching films and, all that. But I don't see this film at all. I was searching the channel and they talk about this film on Blu-ray a little bit here and there, but this film doesn't get no kind of love. And one thing about my channel you're going to find out is that I give film love. I know I do, big budget movies. I talk about The Flash, Highlander. I talk about RoboCop, Total Recall. I talk about every kind of A-list plus movie. This was an A-list movie back in 1990. This was a hit. It was just lost in the fray. And very underrated. One of the most underrated action films I've seen in a long while. And it's so pushed over and missed over. And why am I doing this recommendation is that I rewatched it about a couple months ago, and don't remember that much of it to a degree. I'm not gonna lie, I was in and out of my sleep. I've seen this before, don't get me wrong, I've seen this before, but I was in and out, and it was streaming on YouTube. Those kind of pirated videos that YouTube usually takes down after, they get a whiff of it after a week and they take it down. I was trying to find it again and I couldn't find it, but it was in full HD 1080p. And I was watching in and out if I was sleeping, and I just love this movie so much. And the sad part about this movie is that it's one of Van Damme's finest, to my opinion. This is one of Jean-Claude Van Damme's finest action movies he's done in a long time, but it's so underrated, it's so underappreciated, very not appreciated. And the fight sequences in this film is so cool. The way he fight, the guards, the cops, the inmates, and then he finally fights Sandman, the end scene. That, I know it was over dramatic. If you watch the film, you can rent it or something. It's you can rent it from Vudu, Google TV, Apple TV, iTunes, I don't know, Amazon Prime. You can rent it from there. It's on there. You can rent it. And one of my biggest memories of that movie is the end scene with him and Sandman. That scene is everything, man. That scene is everything. That's what made Jean-Claude Van Damme. You want to know where the kicks come from. You want to know where the spin moves come from. You want to know how he moves, how he, why he go, all that shit that he be doing. It came from that movie. I mean, he did it in Bloodsport. He did it in Kickboxer. Don't get me wrong, but this is the first time he did it on a big screen. And I know what you're saying. Bloodsport came out too. It did. Bloodsport did come out in theaters. That was actually one of his first movies. But you talk about introduction as an action hero, like it's true introduction into action hero status. Death Warrant is it, not Bloodsport, not Kickboxer, not Cyborg. It was Death Warrant. This was a big budget movie. This movie cost over $7 million to make, and it took in $46 million at the box office. So again, this was no flop. This got back his money and then some, and it put Van Damme on the map. And after that came the other hits and Street Fighter, which I will never do a review about that movie ever. Just wish that movie never existed in my lifetime. I'm about to do movies in that instant 4K, and I'm gonna put Death Warrant on top of this list because Death Warrant really needs to be in 4K. It really does.
Yes.
I get this movie 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. This movie gets a 10 out of 10 for me.
It's not a threat. It's a promise.
He's got the toughest job a cop can do.
Prisoners hate cops more than anything else.
It's a hit list.
You're a dead man.
His cover has been blown.
What are you doing in my prison? It's too late.
Your number's next on the list.
And the odds are impossible.
Welcome to hell!
Van Damme, he loves a good fight. Death Warrant.